I'm Jason Little, and this is 10 minutes off the top of my head. I want to do a Mandela Effect and Cern video part 2 because I didn't really get all the information into the other one that I wanted to, because for some reason I've limited myself to try and make videos that are only 10 minutes long. I've not been successful all the time, but that's the name of the channel. So 10 minutes off the top of my head. Here we go. So the Mandela effect is affecting things like movies. It's affecting things like when we remember people dying. Mandela died in the 1980s. According to the Mandela effect subscribers, proponents, whatever, they think he died in the 1980s. They remember seeing his video of the funeral on television. Billy Graham died in the 1980s also. They remember seeing his funeral in the 1990s. Well, Billy Graham's not dead. Mandela died in 2014. Another video I said 2013. It must have been the Mandela effect that caused me to think that. The phrase, Houston, we've had a problem, and the movie Apollo 13 is remembered as Houston, we have a problem, or Houston, we've had a problem. The script says Houston, we've had a problem. But it seems like Tom Hanks says, Houston, we had a problem. It's a problem. The Mandela effect is affecting these things. The King James Bible used to say wineskins. Now it says bottles. It used to say the lion laid down with the lamb. Now it says the wolf. All kinds of things like this. What I believe is that we have a problem not with the D-Wave computer and the CERN Super Hadron, Large Hadron Collider and all that stuff changing the very fabric of space-time, but we have a problem with cognitive dissonance. We remember something a certain way, but maybe not quite the way that it happened. Field of Dreams, remember that movie with Kevin Costner? I never did really like it. It was kind of weird. It was kind of okay. It was okay. James Earl Jones was in that one. And he was in The Empire Strikes Back. Maybe James Earl Jones is causing the Mandela effect. I wonder if I remember James Earl Jones played Mandela once, didn't he? That's what it is. It's the James Earl Jones effect. Okay, Field of Dreams. Check this out. Everybody remembers, if you build it, they will come. But in the movie, he says, if you build it, he will come. Because the movie was about the Chicago Black Sox, the 1919 Chicago White Sox team, right? No, it was about Shoeless Joe Jackson, and he was a big Shoeless Joe Jackson fan. Blah blah blah. He always said, if you build it, he will come. That was the whole thing. We've just gotten 20, 30 years away from it. We've forgotten what it was. We remember it differently because in another medium, it was presented in another way. That's all. But we are now so jacked up in our thinking that we're somehow blaming it on CERN and the Large Hadron Collider that's colliding these particles together and creating a portal to another universe. And that's what's happening. That universe is bleeding into ours, and our reality is getting all messed up. Come on. Let's pull ourselves into the reality here and into this reality. Let's think about this for just a minute. Do you think that there are other timelines, other universes out there, that we live in a universe that is part of a multiverse? Do you think that? Do you honestly believe that? Because when I read my Bible, it doesn't say anything at all about other universes. Well, it doesn't mean that they can't exist. It doesn't mean that they do exist either. It is ridiculous. Think about this. Outside of CERN, their logo, and it's on the thumbnail for this video. It's really small, so you can't see it very well. But in their logo, or in their out in front of the CERN complex, there's a statue. That statue is of Shiva, which is a Hindu god. Now, there are three principal Hindu gods. There's Brahma, there's Vishnu, and there's Shiva. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the sustainer, and Shiva is the destroyer. Why is it that CERN that these scientists, these mostly atheistic scientists, why is it that they chose the deity of destruction from the Hindu religion to represent what they're doing at CERN? Why? That doesn't make any sense at all to me. Unless you look at the go on Google and look at it. Look up CERN and you'll see Shiva. And it looks like Shiva is dancing with her multiple arm or his multiple arms through the portal, through a portal. Scientists believe, the scientism scientists believe that there is a veil between our universe and the other universes, and that we can intersect in certain places in our universe. The veil of the two universes intersect, and they're trying to break the veil, create a portal so that we can go in and out. There's a thing called quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement is when two particles that are separated from each other will behave the same way. So if this particle over here goes to the left, then this particle is going to go to the left. So they act together no matter where they are. They can be separated by inches, miles, billions of miles. They'll still act the same way. If this one goes down, this one goes down. If this one goes up, this one goes up. They act the same way. I don't know if that's true or not, and it doesn't really matter, but because of this, they're claiming that if a particle over here acts in a certain way, the particle over here in another universe will act that same way, and quantum entanglement. It's quantum nonsense. It doesn't matter if the particles act that way or not. It really doesn't matter, and that's a basis. One of the three major bases of quantum computing, of quantum computers. These guys have the whole thing is ridiculous. The whole thing is preposterous. Now I'm going to present something to you, and this is what I truly believe and I truly think. We human beings on the earth right now are constantly being programmed. We're constantly being programmed. Every time you turn on the television, especially the television, you're being programmed. It's bleeding over into the internet now as well, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all these social media places. We're constantly being bombarded and programmed. We're plugged in. We live in a society right now that's absolutely plugged in to the Matrix. You remember that movie from several years ago? I think it's coming up on 20 years ago now. The Matrix was what, 1999? So we are plugged into the Matrix. Now, I'm not saying that you're off in some underground cave somewhere with something shoved into the back of your head and ports all along your side, and that you're a battery for the mechanical machine overlords that have taken over the world. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that we are plugged into a matrix. We are so dependent upon what the media tells us and what the officials tell us and what the celebrities are doing and what Kim Kardashian is wearing or Lady Gaga or whoever. I don't even know who's really all that popular right now. I don't think either one of them are up there anymore like they used to be. But we're so excited about what's coming next and about all these stupid movies that are coming out, but we don't realize that we're being programmed. And let me give you a good example. Think back with me 20 years ago. I think 20 years is far enough. Let's think back 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we had a whole different reality. There I go now. I'm proponent of the Mandela Effect. We had a different reality of consciousness than what we've got right now. We've got our minds on a lot of different things right now. One of the biggest things out there, one of the most impressive, greatest things that you can that is out there today are these comic book hero movies. Look at it. Think about this. There was a movie called oh my goodness, what was it? Hancock, starring Will Smith, that came out and just bombed. It didn't bomb too bad, but I mean, it was a disappointment. Let's say it that way. It was a disappointment. And it came out about, and I think it's got to be, oh man, back in the 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, maybe early 2000s, whenever it was. And it did not do that well. But it was about a guy who had these supernatural abilities. He could fly. He was basically Superman. He was impervious to pain. Heat, cold didn't affect him like it affects us. He was super strong. He could throw trucks and trains, and he just was Superman. So that movie didn't do that well. But then, and it was a decent movie. I actually liked it. It was pretty good. Subsequent years, we have the Incredible Hulk movies that did a little bit better, but not too well. Then we got Captain America, which did pretty well, and then Thor, that did great, and then Iron Man, which was a blockbuster hit, and then the Avengers, which was just phenomenal, and then the Guardians of the Galaxy, Superman versus Batman, Batman versus Superman, whatever it was. You got all these movies that are coming out that are about these people that have these tremendous abilities, these metahumans, if you will. TV shows, The Flash, The Green Arrow, all these TV shows, DC Legends of Tomorrow, all these TV shows, Supergirl, that are coming out, that are showing you, it's in your face all the time. If you're paying attention at all, it's in your face. It's all over Netflix. It's in the movie theaters. It's all over the place. These humans that have these tremendous abilities, these metahumans, these transhumans. Transhumanism is becoming a huge deal in our society. Look at what else is becoming a huge deal. You see it in the news all the time about artificial intelligence. Do you remember from 1984, the movie The Terminator, when the artificial intelligence rose up against humankind and was trying to wipe out the human population of the earth? Well, we're trying as hard as we can to create a sustainable, viable, almost living artificial intelligence. You think I'm wrong? Look it up. People like Bill Gates have warned us that AI is going to destroy the world. But the scientists are at breakneck speed trying to develop good, viable, sustainable artificial intelligence. What does this have to do with the Mandela effect? Well, it has to do with getting your mind and your heart so overfilled with all of this nonsense that you're unable to spend some brain power and some soul power and some heart power and investing in the things that are important. What's important? AI? No, it's not important. Transhumanism? No, it's not important. But there's experiments and things going on right now as we speak. They're trying to force evolution onto the human species. The military is doing it with the super soldier program. The medical scientists are doing it with trying to and saying that it's for the good of mankind. They're trying to restructure and change our DNA. And I know that you think this is crazy, but it's not, and it's not even in the realm of conspiracy theory. These things are going on right now, 2017, in the month of May. It's going on right now, but we're so wrapped up in the fantasy of it all. Who wouldn't want to be the Wolverine, man? The X-Men. Who wouldn't you? I'd love to be Wolverine. You can shoot me right in the chest, and I just let the bullet falls out. And I got claws in my hands, and I can lift a semi-truck. I mean, come on. It's awesome, right? They're developing things, nanotechnology, super serums like what you saw in Captain America. The super soldier serum. They're developing these things, and they have been for decades. And if you really want your mind blown, start looking into Nephilim and giants and how many giant skeletons have been found in the world that you have no idea about because you are plugged into the matrix and they don't want you to know about it because there's an agenda. And we're going to get to that eventually. Hopefully soon, because I really want to get to the blessing part of this. But you have got to understand that you're programmed all the time. And that's just one example. All of the superhero movies that have come out recently within the last 10, 15 years, they're programming you. They're programming you to accept something that is unnatural. So what is it? Well, stay tuned. We'll get to it eventually. God bless you. See you on the next video.